At ADP, we understand the importance of building the right team and offer the data insights to help. Just as importantly, our AI technology helps you pay the team accurately. Grow stronger with ADP. HR, talent, time, and payroll.
In Nazi Germany, Jews became the scapegoat. 6 million plus went to their death in gas chambers and ovens. Supporting Hitler and the Third Reich was German industry, like Mercedes, like BMW, like Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank, which actually financed the concentration camps and almost financed a house bought by Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton in Chappaqua, New York, until I killed it when I ran Judicial Watch, which I founded. In today's world, white people in the United States have become like Hitler's Jews. Hitler used to put Stars of David on Jews so people would know who they were, so they could be attacked and killed in the streets. In today's world, the whites, and it won't be long into the future, will be identified as people who too will be subject to harm by the left and by others. You can see what's going on right now. Using the race card, the left has created hatred against whites. Whites are born with a racist gene, they say. Whites practice systemic racism, they say. Whites are there and they're evil. And therefore, because of that, white people, afraid white people, are beginning to flee this country, just like they fled South Africa after the African National Congress took over. They're going to Australia. Even the head of Fox News, Lachlan Murdoch, a leftist, is fleeing the country for Australia. Greg Norman, the golfer, who hundreds of millions he's worth in terms of this country. He loved this country. He's leaving to go back to Australia. Others are doing the same. Other countries as well. Italy, I have friends that have left. I'm not leaving. I'm staying here and I'm fighting to the very end. And we are all equal in this country, whether you're white or black, red, yellow, or green. And I'm a civil rights lawyer. I stand up for everyone. I have stood up for blacks that have been discriminated against and Jews that have been discriminated against and everybody. But now whites are the Jews of Hitler's Germany. And we better stand up for ourselves where no one's going to stand up for us at all. We saw what happened with regard to the All-Star game in Atlanta when false charges that the Georgia legislation, actually the required identification to vote, was termed racist by Joe Biden, our illegitimate president, by Kamala Harris, our illegitimate vice president, by Stacey Abrams, that hack from Georgia, leftist black hack from Georgia. It's only the black conservatives that have any guts. The white people are running for the exits. They want to say, leave me alone. Don't hurt me. Do whatever you want. Take this country over. And it's not just radical blacks. Who's behind the radical blacks? Marxian Jews on the left, and I'm Jewish myself. I can say that. That's true. Radical atheists, radical LGBTQs, radical Muslims. Most people in these groups are good people, but they've taken control because the other people in this country are sitting on the deck of the Titanic as it's sinking closer and closer to its death in the sea. And the Republican Party sits there and just watches, just talks, just goes on Fox News. That's it. Well, it's time for the American people to rise up, and that's why I wrote my book, It Takes a Revolution. Forget the scandal industry. Rise up. Peaceful and legal means, citizens' grand juries, Third Continental Congress. I talk about that on my radio show this week on Radio America, my weekly radio show. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. We are in the process of indicting Joe Biden, who just said yesterday, the Constitution isn't absolute, suggesting you can do whatever you want. He intends to seize the guns so no one can defend themselves in this country. He's beginning that process with yet another executive order, the 35th, in just 2 months. More executive orders than King George III's edicts. King George III was not a socialist. He was not a communist. He was not an atheist. He was not a radical Muslim. He was not a member of the Marxian Jewish left. He was not a radical gay, lesbian, and transgender. He was not a radical feminist. We have it much worse today than it existed in 1776. And that's why we now need to rise up. I want you to get my book. I want you to read it. I want you to read the Declaration of Independence. We need to form a new government by and for the people. We don't have a government. It's not just no taxation without representation. We don't have representation at all. And those that are in power, many of them got there through fraud, like Biden and Harris. That's my message for today. We need to rise up. We need to do whatever we can peacefully and legally to take this country back. We cannot be afraid. Our founding fathers were not afraid. Our founding fathers risked their lives and gave their lives, pledged their honor, and risked their fortunes to form a new nation. Washington and Jefferson would be millionaires even in today's world with inflation. They didn't have to do this, but they knew that their kids and grandkids and future generations will be living in a dictatorship. And now it has come to pass, despite having won the first revolution, we must now fight the second revolution, peacefully and legally. We must stand up for ourselves. White people must stand up for themselves too. They cannot be afraid. Because like in Nazi Germany, where you had the Third Reich, all aspects of society have thrown their lot behind these radical leftists thinking that that's going to further their interests. Well, the interests of the American people lie in the Father and the Son. The interests of the American people lie in our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence, our Bill of Rights. We will prevail if we help ourselves and get up off the couch and turn off Sean Hannity and get to work. That's my message for today. God bless you. God bless your family. Stay safe. Thank you for listening to me. I'll be back with another special podcast, A Special Prosecutor with Larry Klayman on Monday. Have a good weekend.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word: crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender, all one word. But then also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word: crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender, all one word. But then also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.